over on Facebook or YouTube, it's likely that you're watching the replay. If you would put hashtag replay in the comments, that way we know when you are watching. Victoria is here with me, and so she is going to read the comments. So when you come on, please talk to me. Tell me how you're doing today. Tell me what you've been up to. We are going to work on a wreath today for a door, and our customer asked for an all white wreath, so that's what we're going to work on. Victoria, are you seeing people coming on? I think so. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I am going to start out with a grapevine wreath. I really like to use a grapevine wreath as my base. And for this one, we're just going to do a half of a wreath. She doesn't want it necessarily all the way around. And so she said she did not want any ribbon, which is so interesting how it always gives me a throw. I never know exactly what I'm thinking. But ribbon is usually pretty important in wreath making, and so for me personally, and so it always throws me just a little bit if I don't add ribbon to a wreath, but we will figure it out as we go. We are going to use some faux flowers. I have hydrangeas, we have some garden roses, we have some small little white blooms, cosmos, just different pretty greens and pretty flowers. So we are going to get started. I do have some of my favorite tools that I couldn't do a wreath without. We have some cobalt wire snips, which are my favorite. They work so well and so easy to use. And then we also have a hot glue pan. Now, or a glue skillet, you can call it either or. It's an electric skillet for hot glue, and it has been the best thing ever. You need some help? You got it.
I was
just looking. So what I'm going to do is I am going to hang my wreath up here on this door, and I am going to look at it really closely and see, like I've got a little bit of a flat side here. So that's where I'm going to glue my flowers. I always want to make sure that if your wreath, grapevine wreath, has any flaws, you cover those flaws. Now, grapevine wreaths are handmade, and so they're going to have flaws. And so always just kind of look at them. If you see a side that's a little more flat than the other rounded side, go ahead and glue those flowers to that flat side, and that way it'll just kind of cover it up. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of greenery. I have got some really pretty sprigs of eucalyptus. And move some of my flowers to the other side.
Mary Lee Fletcher, thank you for the follow on TikTok. She asks, or says, Helene knocked down some pines with vines attached. Should I salvage?
If you can, and if you would like to do the work, absolutely. And it could be a beautiful reminder that pretty things happen out of a disaster. But yeah, I think it would be a great thing to do. And you can make a really pretty wreath that you can enjoy, and I think that would be nice. So I'm going to take my snips and cut some of the stems of that eucalyptus. I'm going to dip my my little stem right down into that hot glue. And I'm going to press it right into that grapevine. Just work it right into the weave of the grapevine.
Mary Lee says, yes ma'am, thank you, there's lots there.
Absolutely, and it's going to take some work. Put on some long sleeves and put on some gloves, because it bites when you get started working with it.
I'm just a small town girl, and Judy, thank you for the follows on TikTok.
So glad you're here, guys. Thanks for watching. So I'm just going to continue with my eucalyptus. I'm just taking it, dipping it in glue. The wonderful part about faux flowers is, of course, they're all have wire in them, so you can always manipulate them and work them.
Are all the orange spray roses sold?
I think like 10 bunches are sold. I don't know how many bunches came in.
Okay.
Like 8 or 10, 8 bunches maybe, Callie.
Okay.
Kathy says she's watching the live. Please pray for all of Florida. I have dear friends in the way of the hurricane, and says thank you.
Yes, ma'am, we have been. Oh, I'm telling you, we have had so many terrible storms lately. It's just so scary.
Pat Lawler says, need prayers for my granddaughter and great-granddaughter that left this morning on a cruise.
Oh, gracious. I'm sure they will pull them away from that storm, but we will certainly pray for traveling graces. We absolutely will.
Cindy Lee says, hi, this is the first time I've seen you live. We're hunkered down here in Central Florida waiting for the hurricane.
Hello, sweet friend. We are praying for y'all. Y'all stay safe. And I know you know what to do. You have had experience, but we are praying for you.
Miss D over on YouTube says, hello, Monty, Victoria, and all the Flowers by the Bunch team.
Hello, friend. How have you been? So I'm just taking each stem, adding glue to it, and pressing it in. Now, if you are uncomfortable gluing immediately, you can absolutely stick it in, decide where it needs to go before you add glue. After you get the flowers in place, then you can come back and dip them in glue and put them back in place. For me, I just go ahead and glue as I go. But if you're uncomfortable doing that, absolutely tuck it in, find exactly where you want it to go, and then you can always come back and glue.
Lisa Hicks Russell says, how funny, I'm wearing the same shirt.
Are you? I love this shirt. I actually have them in every color. These are actually from Time and True at Walmart, and they are the most comfortable, oversized, and it's kind of a sweatshirt, but it's not really. It's not real heavy, so it's perfect for cool mornings. And then I've been in and out of the cooler all day, and so it's just been perfect to wear. I haven't been outside in the warm.
On TikTok, Harper San and Mad Girl, thank you for the follows.
Thanks, guys. So glad you're here. Okay, so I tucked in my little stems. I just touched one that had glue. So I tucked in my stems, and I just glued them all the way on that side. I covered up any of the places on the back that was a little flat. I just covered that up with my foliage. Now this eucalyptus, I believe that I ordered all of this eucalyptus from Shein, which is a really great product. We have been very pleased with that greenery. I have ordered it also from another company called Angel Isabel off of Fair, which also has lots of pretty faux flowers. Next, we're going to come in with some hydrangeas. I got glue on my fingers, so that's what I'm working off real quick.
Miss Mary Lou says, hello, how are y'all today? Loved the pic of your mom and dad. God bless your mom going through everything. She looks wonderful. You do look like your mom.
I do look like my mom. Yes, ma'am, I do. I've never been accused of being my daddy's child, but I have certainly, they ask me every once in a while, are you Frankie's child? Yes, I'm definitely Frankie's. Mama is actually doing really well. Thank y'all for your prayers for her. She has she is finished with chemo right this second, so we're going to have some time off from chemo, and her spirits are so good. She is feeling good. She went shopping the other day. She was so excited to get out and shop, and she's feeling really good. She's really got high spirits, and thank you for your prayers so much. Thank you, thank you. So this is just a white hydrangea. I trimmed its stem, and I'm going to just kind of tuck them deep into that greenery, just kind of coming all the way around in the greenery. I'm going to cut off the leaves, but I'm going to save my leaves, and I can use those in a silk arrangement. I don't use them in this wreath. I'm taking those stems, dipping them really good in the glue, and then just tucking them right deep into that greenery.
Chris McKenzie says, hi, I'm catching y'all live.
So glad. Welcome, welcome. We are a little early this afternoon. We have got to head to Senatobia, Mississippi to watch Micah Thomas play soccer. So that's the reason we're a little early, but I am so glad you guys are here with us.
Rita Smith says, I'm so pleased you are making a door wreath as I've just started to teach myself how to do them.
I am so glad. Yeah, we actually I have to do matching pieces. So I'll do the second one later. But I just thought we would go ahead and put one together for you guys and show you how I usually do it. Now, I will say that there are some fantastic wreath makers out there, and I am not nearly as skilled of a wreath maker as some of these wonderful, fabulous wreath makers, but I can do it. But I don't claim to be an expert.
Miss Margaret Lynch says, helping neighbors clean up after the floods.
Oh, Miss Margaret, I'm so sorry about your sweet friend that fell. I have got them on my prayer list.
On TikTok, Carmelita shared the live video. Thank you. And Miss Deborah Lynch followed us.
Thank you
very
guys.
much.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank you.
I Need More Cowbell says hello.
Hello, friend. How are you today?
Over on YouTube, Viola says, love the white.
In the white pretty, you can never go wrong with white. I think really for any season, you can't mess up white. So these are kind of a garden rose. When we ordered these, I want to say we ordered them from Sweet Home Designs maybe. But they are supposed to be kind of a David Austin garden rose. You can kind of see the pretty yellow down deep. They came on a bush, and I've cut them apart, but they are really such a pretty flower. So I'm just going to take each stem, I'm going to dip it right down into my glue, and I'm just going to nestle them into this arrangement.
Sandra Boyle says, looking at both YouTube and Facebook and seeing the display in reverse. Interesting to see which way I prefer. I like the half designs. Enjoying from Scotland.
Thank you so much, friend. Thank you.
Anne says hello from Barbados. She says it's her first time catching a live. She also says, I used those same forms last year for holiday wreaths.
Yes, they are the perfect form for any style wreath. They work great, and they hold up so well.
Miss D says, so good to hear your mom is feeling good and in great spirits. We'll continue to keep her lifted in our prayers.
Thank you so much, friend. Thank you. So let me tell you a trick about this hot glue pan. If you purchase a hot glue pan and you don't know what heat or what setting to turn your hot glue pan on, always remember you want your glue to be about the consistency of honey. That way, number one, it doesn't drip. Hot glue that drips is terrible, and it'll be so quick. If you will get your glue to be about the consistency of honey, you're going to find that that's the perfect temperature. I want to say that we have ours on about 250 to 275, but always remember honey is the consistency you want the glue. So this is, I don't even know if these are supposed to be little ranunculus, but they're pretty little white blooms. So we're going to use those.
Lacey
might be a rose.
Lacey Orr says, hello, Monty and Victoria. I hope everyone is well over here in East Tennessee, and recovery from Helene is underway. Hoping this incoming hurricane will turn away soon. Praying for communities in the line of Milton. Please say a prayer again for my papa. He asked to see and speak to all of his family.
Aww.
So we've all gathered here and are spending these final days with him as much as possible.
And what a wonderful thing it is to come together and love on him and let him know how much he's loved. We will continue to pray for you, sweet friend.
Peaceful Heart Crafts says, yay, made alive, it's been so long.
Yay, so glad you're here.
Her name's Leslie and she's from Kitimat, Canada. Hope you're having a wonderful day.
Thank you for being here, Leslie. Yes, we are. We're having a great day.
Chris McKenzie says, I've been making lots of floral arrangements and even did flowers for an engagement party, all because of you. Flowers by the Bunch is such a happy inspiration for me.
Oh, I'm so glad. That is wonderful.
Chris also asks, how long are you leaving the stems? Do they poke out the other side?
Sometimes they do poke out the other side. It really just depends on the depth. I don't really measure the stems necessarily. I stick it in. If it's too long, I'll pull it out and trim it up. So it's really not a certain length. I just like to have different depths in the arrangement. So I like some snug in tight into the arrangement, and then some kind of sticking out, just the same as if you were doing a fresh arrangement. Sometimes they do poke out the other side, but usually not too terribly much that they would hinder hanging the wreath.
On TikTok, Tony says, I love your humility. And Mercy says, hello, happy Tuesday. The white is a very nice touch.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Okay, so these are little roses. I think these came from Angel Isabella on Fair, which is a really nice company with really great prices. So if ever you are in need of some just pretty stems of flowers, they have a really great selection. Now, I didn't really buy color. I was looking for white, so I haven't really ordered much in color from them, in colored blooms, colored flowers. But the white is really pretty, so I am thinking that all the colors are too.
Sis Keeler, thank you for the follow on TikTok. A few people are glad to hear your mom's doing well.
Thank you guys. Thank y'all so much
and
for
they're
your
saying
prayers.
the wreath is pretty.
Thank you.
Debbie Ray Miller's watching from Kansas. She says, hope y'all are doing okay and staying safe with this crazy weather.
I know, it is so crazy. We have really not seen any of the weather. Now, we got a little rain here and there and things like that, but we have not seen any of the weather at all.
Anne on YouTube says, usually if they poke out, you can tuck them back into the wreath vines.
Yes, ma'am. They do all have pretty good wire, and so they will tuck in pretty well. You usually don't have too much of a problem.
Erin Marquis asks, where are these flowers from? They're so pretty.
So they're from several different companies. The white hydrangeas, that was a bush that I ordered from a company called David Christopher's. You can go to Shop David Christopher's. Lots of beautiful artificial blooms, and they have beautiful Christmas things too, which are fairly reasonable. The roses, I want to say Sweet Home Designs were the garden roses. These little white roses were Angel Isabella. Both of those companies I found on Fair, which is an app that has lots of different wholesale gifts and items. And then the eucalyptus, I purchased it from Shein. So all different places. A lot of times I have found it easier to buy a little here and buy a little there, because most companies don't have everything that I'm looking for. And so for me, a lot of the things I'll just purchase. I like this, I'm going to grab that. A lot of these flowers we have purchased. I don't know if you saw the wedding I did this past weekend, but a lot of these white blooms I used for that wedding. And so that's why I have all of these white flowers, and I've purchased a lot of white flowers. We have started doing rental flowers for weddings. Not that we don't do fresh flowers, we certainly do lots of fresh flowers, but we also have gotten to where we have decided to do rental arrangements for weddings. And so if you'll go back and look on Saturday, and I'll repost it this week, we did a small wedding with beautiful white rental arrangements that were all faux flowers, and we have found that that's just a little added something that we can add from our flower shop, and it's worked out really great. We also have faux flower walls that we rent. We actually just got them in last week, so we have not set them up to rent them yet, but we do have beautiful floral backdrop walls that are kind of fun, and we're excited to get started renting those.
Jill Brown says, did a funeral for a 3-year-old yesterday. Children's services are always so hard and sad. Prayers for this family.
Oh, they are terrible. I'm so sorry.
Rhea says, just gorgeous. Did you say no ribbon?
No ribbon, Rhea. They asked for no ribbon, and I was worried that I didn't know if I would be able to make this arrangement. Isn't it funny how when they tell you they don't want something, that's the first thing you thought you wanted?
On YouTube, DIY Lori says, my stepfather recently passed away. My mom asked me to do the casket spray. I've never done that before, so I went home and started binge watching you. Everyone said the flowers were beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, Lori, I'm so thankful you were able to make his flowers the last thing that you could do for him, and I'm so glad that the videos were useful. I'm sorry for your loss.
Erin Marquis says, she says, I'm starting rental flowers through my business as well. I saw your videos last week. I have some of the same flowers you used. The delphinium are great.
Aren't they great? They were beautiful flowers. They really turned out so well. So these are just pieces that were left over that I pulled off. So I like to save the leaves if at all possible. You never know when you can use faux leaves. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of that leaf and just tuck it deep to kind of cover some of that wreath.
Lily on TikTok says, oh my, that's lovely.
Thank you, Lily.
Miss Barbara Lott, what were the names of the companies for the flowers again?
Miss Barbara, is that on Facebook?
Yes.
Send me a message and I will message you and let you know all of those companies. It'll be so much easier than you have to try to figure out how to find them. I will send you links for all of those companies if you would like me to.
John Miller asks, do you have weekly meetings with your staff on what you will be working on and who will be handling it?
So, really not. We're very small here, Miss Dawn, and so we only have, the designers here are me and Robbie, my sister, Victoria, and Callie. Now, Victoria and I often have kind of sit down meetings about social media. Victoria has been really doing a fantastic job on helping me with all things social media, all things with computers. We're working on a new website. Victoria has taken that website and run with it, which is fantastic because I am not great at that. So Victoria and I will sit down and brainstorm a lot about what do we need to post this week? What kind of ads do we need to do? Those kind of things. Now, overall, Callie and I, Robbie, and of course Victoria designs too, but we are all back there together constantly, and so we will pull all of the things and I'll discuss them, but usually not really like a professional meeting, and it's just because we basically all live together. We all know all the things, just because we've all kind of brainstormed together, but not really like if we had a big staff that we would have a big meeting.
Miss Sue says, beautiful, what glue do you use?
So I just order it from the floral wholesaler, and it is just a pellet glue. So they almost look like little tiny pillows, and they're just pellets, and you'll just grab a handful and drop it into your glue pan. Now you can absolutely use like glue sticks if you wanted to. I find they want to string a little more than the little pellets do, but you can find hot glue pellets over on Amazon. Did we go dark?
Yes, I'm sorry, you two. I'm fixing that right now. And thank you, Miss Rita, for your sweet comment.
She's talking about you.
She said I've been doing a good job on social media.
You have been doing a magnificent job. I don't think I tell you enough. You and Owen.
Thank you.
Owen's in school, and so we are missing Owen. We didn't know how useful he was. Did we, Victoria? Victoria knew he was more useful than Mom did. All right, I think I have just about got it. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a hanger onto the back of this wreath. And I'm going to show you how I like to do that. Let's see. I'm going to go grab some corsage tape. I will be right back. Give me just a second.
Lori, thank you for the follow on TikTok. We appreciate everyone who's watching and following us. Thank you very much. Oh, Miss Margaret, thank you. Y'all are so sweet. I agree, it is beautiful. I agree, Miss Sharon. She says it's so beautiful, it looks so real. I agree. We've gotten some really good quality faux flowers in for funerals and things like this. So they've really turned out really lovely. Miss Margaret, I'll tell Monty, Miss Margaret Lynch says, say hi to Micah Thomas, and she hopes it's a good soccer game.
I sure will. Yes, ma'am. It'll be late. I don't think they play until 7 tonight, so it'll be midnight before we get home. I will be so asleep in that front seat. So this is a florist wire. It's just a regular florist wire. I think it is, what is this gauge? 21 gauge? I always mess up the gauges. 21 gauge. So what I'm going to do is this is just paper corsage tape. I'm going to take it and I'm gonna wrap this piece of wire with the corsage tape. So I'm taking that wire and the tape and I'm just pinching it at the top. Now I'm holding that tape and pulling it and wrapping all the way down that stem.
Stacy Jane says, I find for me Gorilla Hot Glue is very strong, but the Surebond pellets have less strings, but just me, she says.
And you know, I don't guess I've ever really worked with the Gorilla Hot Glue. Okay, so I wrapped that wire. Now the reason I like to wrap the wire, number one, it grips really good. Number two, if in case it's left outside on the door, this wire will rust. Just to protect the door. The tape helps to protect the door. So I'm taking the two ends of that wire and I just twisted them together.
Harzona on TikTok says, hello from Alabama.
Hello, friend. Hello, neighbor. How are you? So I kind of made an oval there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to take my wreath. I'm going to turn it around. And I am going to try very carefully to run that wire through that grapevine.
Gloria Tucker says, asks, does a melting pot need special glue? Is it sticks or a block?
Either or, whichever you would prefer. It's not a block, it's usually little pellets. And so you can cut up a stick and just throw a whole stick in there and it will melt. I find that it does string really bad. So I took my wire, I have the end down here and I have the top up here. I'm just going to run that wire right through the other and then pull it tight. So there is your hook for the top of that wreath. Now it can be adjusted. It does not have to stay this long, but there is your hook and it's really too long. So I'm going to fix it because it's way too long. It's always nice to add a hanger to your wreaths, and I am the world's worst to forget. So let me tell you, don't forget to put your hangers on your wreaths. But I am bad to forget it, and so I apologize for those who received wreaths that I did not put a hanger on. I am so sorry. So I just adjusted it by taking that wire and making it a little tighter.
Helen says hi from California on TikTok.
Hello, friend. Hello, hello. All right, and there is your finished wreath. Now what we will do is, this is actually going to be hung on the doors at a church for a funeral service on Saturday. She will bring these back, and we will actually use them for Christmas, where we add some Christmas foliage and pretty Christmas ribbon. And so she will be able to use them again for the holidays, which I think is very nice and such a wonderful remembrance or memorial to her sweet husband who passed away. But very simple, very pretty, and I really think you can never go wrong with all white. You could make it really for any season, honestly, in my opinion, but it's really very pretty.
Arizona says, just lovely, and thank you, Helen, for the follow.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, thank you.
Yep, they're saying it's beautiful. Rebecca says, so happy to catch you making something beautiful after all the devastation in upstate South Carolina and western North Carolina. Still so many without power and homes.
I know, it's such a terrible thing. I was actually talking to Victoria about it yesterday. It's just overwhelming at all of the natural disasters that we're having lately with all of the weather and all the things.
Viola says it's beautiful.
Thank you, Miss Viola. Thank you.
And Sekarak, thank you for the follow on TikTok.
Thank you, friend.
Yep, they're saying the flowers are real, they're beautiful, all the things.
All right, guys, thank y'all. Yes, ma'am, you were going to ask.
I was just going to say, they're saying good luck to Micah Thomas.
Thank you, thank you. I will post pictures this evening. We're kind of excited. We get to actually go and see. Micah played soccer with his friend, and his name is Micah. And so we're excited to go see our other Micah, too. It'll be kind of fun. It'll be a family reunion to see both boys on the field at the same time. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here. If you have any questions about what we do here at Flowers by the Bunch, where we ordered our flowers, any of the things, you are always welcome to ask. We are so happy to answer those questions. If you asked about the different types of flowers and where they came from, send me a message and I am happy to send you links. It just makes it so much easier than trying to write something down if you're anything like I am. I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Remember, if you are local to Starkville, Mississippi, we are doing a giveaway for Breast Cancer Awareness Week. So be sure to go and follow that link, and be sure to sign Victoria, just sign up for it. How do you do it? I can't remember. What are all the things you do for the giveaway? You need to be local to Starkville. You can follow Flowers by the Bunch on Facebook. You can like the post and then tag a friend that you might want to celebrate someone's life, or tell them how happy you are that they have conquered this cancer, or any of the things. But please be sure to check that out. We would love to be able to give those flowers to someone that might cheer them up, or just tell them how much you love them and you're so thankful that they are here. We will be back first thing in the morning with a devotion. So come back tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock over on Facebook and join us for a devotion. I hope you have a great evening, guys. Like this video.